Cross-promotional spots for a monster truck rally to be read during non-stop rock blocks? No thanks, TJ, never again.
Look, Z-Man, I know you're not happy about what happened back then, but I had no choice. Those traffic updates gave us critical mainstream support.
And all we had to give up was 1 hour of non-stop rock.
We never could have held on to that power rush hour. People just weren't ready for that much rock with so little talk. The 9 a.m. compromise allowed us to bring back Get the Let Out Friday. In '96, the ratio of rock to talk was 3-1. Today, it's 5-1, and yes, someday, God willing, it will be infinity.
TBTL.
I suck without the internet, dude. It's like I'm too real for it, you know?
Sometimes people say that my head is too big for my body, and then I say, compared to what?
If you had a favorite saying, what would it be?
Life's a party, rock your body.
You're so shy and small, and you're so loud and huge.
I swear, every time this guy talks, all I hear is a turkey gobbler.
You're both little troublemakers. You're both huge in Japan. You probably have a lot to talk about. Go!
Keep things light. Don't bring up your divorce.
Well, all right. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome everyone to a Wednesday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
Isn't that for techno geeks with spreadsheets?
My name is Luke Burbank. I am your host.
I don't know who that is, and I don't care to find out.
Coming to you a little later than normal today because I am in beautiful but very cold Chicago, Illinois, the Windy City.
In a case gone cold, could a podcast bring the heat?
Got up very early in the Pacific Northwest today. Went to the airport in Portland. Flew on over here to Chicago. Jumped in a ride share. Hustled straight here to the hotel. Set up my little audio gear, and we're ready to do this. We're ready to get into episode 4676 in a collector series.
Let the fun begin.
Speaking of media productions, we've been trying to get to this story all week, but the McDonald's Corporation thought they would maybe put a clever video out involving their CEO and one of their new burgers. And
I wish I hadn't done that.
Didn't go super well. Maybe today will finally be the day that we actually play that tape. Who knows? And then speaking of like iconic tape, it was about 14 years ago that the bowler Pete Weber won I think it was an entire tournament, maybe it was just one match, and he famously in his celebration yelled, "Who do you think you are? I am."
Who do you think you are? I am.
And now we're getting some more clarity from his own description of things as to who he was actually yelling at, who he was saying, "Who do you think you are? I am." And it's pretty surprising, honestly. So we'll get into that. And we'll talk to this guy. He's the longest-running Cobra of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships. He is Andrew Walsh.
132, 33, 30.
And he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. I'm feeling a little bit of agita. I like to keep my inbox nice and clean with just a few red emails, but now I've got a bunch of unread emails in here, things that I can't bring myself just to delete because I want to give them a little. Some of them are bills I need to pay. Some of them are like articles that I have newsletters, newsletters, I guess, news-related newsletters that I have really good intentions on. Like how long? Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. What's today? Today's the 4th. So this just came in yesterday from Publicola, one of my favorite, local news sites.
Worth supporting.
Absolutely.
Or at the very least worth interacting with.
Absolutely. A model like ours. You can get it for free, but you can also support it. I do support it, for the record. An alternative.
I mostly use Public Diet Cola.
Yeah, no,
that's just
it tastes.
I'm always watching my waistline.
Well,
they've gotten good.
Diet Public root beer tastes almost exactly like regular Public root beer.
Yep.
An alternative approach to creating affordable housing, inside-out urbanism. Now, I don't know what inside-out urbanism is, but this has caught my attention. I'm asking you, what are the chances I actually read that before I give in and delete it?
I would say pretty slim.
I would say pretty slim, too. Is this a Josh Fight thing, or is this a...
we like Josh Fight.
We love Josh Fight, but I'm a bit more, like Erica's stuff.
It's not really the size of the Josh in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the Josh.
I don't have a Josh in this fight. It would be a great PETA.
Okay, put it
Hi,
on the
Wes.
list if we ever want to mix
Hi,
it up.
Wes.
If we ever, yeah, Wes, what else are you sending us? No more nut pods, please.
Oh, did we? Oh, you know what? And just for the record, I don't think I really care, but
Okay.
I don't think
That's
you
a strong-
ever.
that's
I
a
don't
strong
think
statement.
I don't think you ever finished telling us like whatever creamer you're using now or something. You had something on the show sheet.
Yeah, it is this. It's called Nuri, and it's a high protein creamer that does have some amount of milk in it, although it's lactate free. So Becca had it at her house, and in fact, what happened was she was watching Gigi. And so it was a Sunday morning, and I was making coffee, and I was looking around for half and half, and she didn't have any half and half in the fridge, but she had this, like, high, because, I've talked about this a lot, too, which is we are living in the age of protein. We're living in the age where everyone is being told, you got to get more protein. You've just got to figure out how to get more protein in your protein holes. And so, they're adding it to all kinds of stuff, including this kind of coffee creamer, which is also... it's sweetened in a way, but what it meant was I poured it into my coffee on Sunday, and it didn't do what that other nut pod stuff had done, which was it kind of separated. It kind of had an unpleasant visual to it. Whereas if you put half and half into coffee and you stir it, it just changes the color of the coffee. But it looks nice. It looks integrated. It doesn't look like what this other stuff was doing. I was very happy to notice that the high protein stuff mixed in very well with the coffee, and it has enough sweetener in it that I didn't even need to put any Splenda in my coffee. And I'm getting my protein, and it's 20 calories per teaspoon or tablespoon. I think it's actually half the calories of regular half and half. Not that I'm that worried about that as it relates to my morning coffee, but it seemed, and it was actually funny because Becca is an extremely conscientious eater, and I was like, I'm loving this. I go, but it's really good. It's really sweet. Does it have way more calories than half and half? And she looks at me. She goes, have you met me? As if she's going to one day she's going to wake up and just be buying the most Coffee Mate with the most absolute, whatever sugar and calories in it. So all that is to say, I'm pretty excited because I think that I can kind of feed two birds with one scone on this now, Andrew. The creamer will also be the sweetening agent, and I'm getting my protein.
Yeah, I do like that. I told you that I like to use almond milk in my occasional bowl of cereal, and that also has, even if I buy the non-vanilla kind, if you just buy the regular kind, it has a little bit of sweetness to it, just a touch of sweetness that I enjoy. Now, this story has reminded me of something that I do kind of want to talk to you about regarding food, and literally how mentally unwell I think I am regarding food and suggestion. So my whole life, as I think you know, I would hope the listeners have been tracking this, I've been a Clausen pickle person. I love pickles and I love Clausen pickles. So those were the ones that would just be they just stay in the fridge, for your standard everyday, your workman-like pickle, right? And
your everyday pickle.
Your everyday pickle, right? So workhorse. A couple of, but what was a year ago or something, I tried Grillo's because they were in the refrigerated section, and I really like Grillo's pickles. We've talked about it on the show.
I'm a holdout, man.
I know you don't like them, and that's okay. We can like different things. There's a whole song about that,
But
I think.
I bought, I think at Costco or something, or maybe, I don't know if they have them. Do they have them at Trader Joe's? Well, you don't go to Trader Joe's, but I bought a thing of the Grillos. I was all excited because I do love pickles, and everybody was talking about them, and just for whatever reason didn't click for me.
Yeah, I don't know, and maybe it was the hype. I had not heard any hype. I just saw them, and I think I might have bought them because I think I was at Sprouts. I go to different grocery stores now, and they have different offerings. And Sprouts is one of those places that would not have Clausen pickles, but they had these Grillos. They had a logo that I liked, and I'd heard of them because of I think some Sonic fast food partnership commercials or something I'd seen. So I give them a shot. I fall in love with them nowadays, and I don't know why this is, but I can't find non-spicy Grillo's pickles. They used to just have, they sold pickle spears in two kinds, spicy kind and regular. I like them both, but I prefer regular. But lately at various grocery stores, I can only find spicy. I don't know if that's the marketplace speaking or what it is. It's fine.
It is.
Okay. I am in Sprouts yesterday, and I am looking at my pickle selection, and I'm like, they still don't have non-spicy Grillos. but I'm getting a little bit low at home. I'll maybe just pick up another one. But then I see next to it is something, another thing of pickles that are kind of in a similar plastic container, must be refrigerated, and they're from something called the Cleveland Kitchen. And I pick it up and I look at it briefly. I'm like, why not try these? Like, I don't want to, let's try a non-spicy pickle. Maybe these are kind of in the style of Grillos. So without thinking too much about it, I put them in my basket. I'm like, it's a pickle.
They're Mike Vrabel's favorite pickles, Andrew.
That's right. It says AMDG on the top of them. I don't know why. And so then I bring them home, and then I'm like, hey, I should ask my dad if he's heard of these. He lives in Cleveland, and I assume that something called Cleveland Kitchen would mean that it originates from Cleveland, Ohio, although at the moment I did not even take the time to double-check that. I just took a photo of the pickles, sent the photo to my dad. Still haven't heard back, but that's okay. But then later on, or I'm looking at the photo that I sent him, and I'm looking more closely at what the label says. And the label says, like, this is like from Cleveland Kitchen, and it's supposed to encourage gut health. And then I'm realizing, Cleveland Kitchen, they are in Cleveland, Ohio, and they focus on fresh fermented foods with gut health properties. Their catchphrase here
kimchi,
is fresh with benefits.
Sauerkraut.
Exactly. All of those things. Pickles, kraut, kimchi. I thought they also made beverages. Like, what is the kombucha? But I don't see kombucha here. Maybe they don't do the beverages. But I have... Well, first of all, I hate the idea. I don't hate other people having it, but I hate the idea of kombucha to me. It's just, I've never had it. It seems so...
in my life fully... Actually, you know what? That's not true. Sorry. Just quickly. My brother-in-law, Josh... He was like, he makes, because at their chicken shop, Pollo Bravo, he actually makes kombucha, and he makes his own, and then he can get out of a tap. And I have to be honest with you, I'm not just saying this because my brother-in-law. It was really good, because it was very light. I've had other kombucha that's too fermented for me. It's just kind of almost tastes like you're drinking, I don't know, some kind of apple cider vinegar or something. So I don't know. You might like it more than you thought if you have Josh's.
Well, maybe. I mean, I do think it's a mental thing for me a little bit, because the first time I'd heard of kombucha is like kind of my hippie, not hippie, but let's say, like somewhat crunchy friends, and they were making their own, and there's just like this gross looking jar like in this cupboard behind.
Would you like it better if we called it booch?
No, I would like it less.
Dude, you gotta try my booch.
And so, like, I've always had a bad idea, but then also I just don't like anything that tastes a little fermented. Like, for example, like sometimes you will get like those I'm trying to think, like, not seltzers. You know how some seltzers now, you can get tons of ciders. I don't really like alcoholic ciders because, again, that fermented taste. And I swear there are some of those little sodas you can get, alcoholic sodas, that also just like have a little bit too much of a fermented taste to me, and it's an immediate turnoff. And I can just like taste the tiniest bit of that. And when I go to Sprouts, like, anything in their beverage section. Like, I never buy a beverage other than still water from Sprouts, because everything
that runs deep
advertises gut health. And like, I think, and so here's the deal with this. I think I hate the term gut health. I don't want to be thinking about my guts when I'm eating pickles. I don't want this
You're not a fan of Greg Gut Health on Fox 5?
No. I don't want to be thinking about kombucha when I'm eating these pickles. Like, I haven't even opened them yet, and I know that I am unwell, and this doesn't make sense. I am already picturing myself sneakily throwing away one pickle a day until the jar is gone, and I haven't even tried them yet. They might be lovely, but I am so turned off by the term gut health. I don't want to eat anything that says that on the label.
You know what we have to do? On-air taste test.
Should I grab one now? After the break?
Maybe after the break, when we do the donors or something. I would love to get a real-time reaction from you of if it tastes, better or worse than you were expecting.
And
so
I'll bring the Grillos down. I'll bring the Grillos down too, in case I need a chaser, like a good pickle taste chaser.
You were talking about how they have the spicy Grillos. I feel like we're in a golden age of spicy pickle things, because I've gotten into these like, they're Nally, right? Which Nally is kind of, it's certainly not artisanal.
This is a brand, N-A-L-Y?
Yeah, N-A. It's actually, I think that they're originally from the Tacoma area. or they had a big production facility down there, and this big Nally plant. They did potato chips. They did pickles and stuff. And I remember we used to call it. When I was a traffic reporter, there was a section of roadway that we called the Nally Valley Viaduct. Because of its proximity to the Nally plant. Now I don't know if Nally if they just had a plant out here, or if there's some connection to the local community.
And there is something called the Nally Valley. I'm seeing newspaper clips that say Nally. Oh yeah, because on the back of the truck it says foods from Nally Valley. I'd never heard of any of this before.
Well, so they've got these Nally spicy pickles, which are they're bigger than a Cornichon, but not like cut up the way a Grillo's would be or a Clausen would be. They're sort of in between. And my sister Liz had them out at their house when we were out there in the summertime, and I was like, I seriously ate like half of a jar of these things. They're so good. And then I went to Costco. Where'd you get these? She's like, I got them at Costco. We went to Costco, could not find them.
Because everything changes.
Was distraught. And then I don't know, like months and months and months later, sure enough, we're in the Costco again, me and Becca, and they had them. And I think I bought like 3. Like, think about this, a Costco-sized jar. So I may have these pickles for the rest of my life. This may be my longest term relationship with anything. Three Costco-sized jars of these pickles.
I am just thinking about what a hypocrite I am, because I'm looking at this Cleveland kitchen website, and it's a nice website. I'm looking at kimchi, and like, if I'm in a restaurant and there's like kimchi on the table, I'm eating it. You know what I mean? Like, I love
kimchi.
Yeah, and that makes sense because you really love sauerkraut too, and I love sauerkraut too. Like, that's the thing. Like, I like these foods, but for some reason, there's something about in the same way that you were talking about how like everything is protein now. Hey, there's protein in the cream, or there's protein in all these places, which I kind of question if people are really not getting enough protein. But the people who are seeking that stuff out are probably already getting enough protein, but that's a whole other thing. But I feel like the gut health thing is kind of akin to that. And it's like they're taking foods that otherwise I would like, but then just sort of putting this idea in my head that makes me like, I don't know. I mean, do we want to should we analyze this? Like, do you want to Freud me? Or maybe we're just friends.
I mean, I'm sitting in a cozy chair today, as if I was your therapist.
I am.
You know what I mean? Hey, Andrew, let's unpack that a little bit more.
Freud, marry, kill is a little game I like to play with you right now. But it's like, I don't know, if I think gut health, then I think of my digestive
Freud,
system.
my mom, marry my mom, kill my mom.
Kill my dad, I think. That's pretty good. Anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, I guess now you got me thinking now I'm cracking open this thing of pickles. I'm going to try one for the first time, and I'm already thinking about my gutty works and my digestive system, and we all know what goes on there. Like, can we just not?
I mean, I also, my guess would be that that's also a little overstated, the idea of like, we all have to be eating, 30 pounds of fermented cabbage every week to keep, our bodies operating.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some benefits. We used to have this, I think, there's a fire engine going down Michigan Avenue here in Chicago.
Oh, I can't hear it at all.
I know a guy who can't hear a fire truck at all.
I mean, it's good. You've got this handheld microphone. It's right up to your face. Like, you actually have a very good sound for being on the road.
I am really, I'll be honest with you. You know what I feel like right now a little bit is one of these many other podcasters that I see on TikTok now, like Stavros or any of these guys where they've got these kind of handheld microphones. They're in just like they're on a cozy couch or a cozy chair. Oftentimes they're just like lying almost in full repose while they're talking. Like it's sort of the opposite.
Slipping down off the chair in some cases.
Yep. Pulling a full Mr. Holland's Opus.
That's what they call the Mr. Holland's Opus.
But like, it's funny because it's a totally different approach to the format than what you and I came up with, which was radio. And, radio, we started out doing it at radio stations where you had this whole studio environment and you were like sitting pretty upright and, having energy. And I remember I actually stood doing the show for a fair amount of time too, but I remember like Ron and Don, they were always standing when they would do the show. I think that or at least for periods of their careers, I remember coming in and seeing them standing because they thought that brought better energy. And now there's this whole just younger generation of podcasters in their 30s who are like, why wouldn't I be sitting in a cozy chair with this microphone just kind of Now, the main reason you're not going to catch me in full repose is because it's a real double chin shot here.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where my vanity ends up becoming an important part of the calculation. I had something happen on the flight out here today, Andrew, that has I can't remember this happening to me before on a flight, which was they announced that there was going to be some turbulence. You know that I have like I'm just so, you want to talk about broken brain. I'm just like, I don't know why I have to be such a little turd out there, but like sometimes the pilots will come on and they'll say, hey, we're looking at extra turbulence, so we're going to not do the drink service, or we're going to ask our flight attendants to, take their seats for the duration of the flight out of safety. And when they do that, I always think, well, we better get some serious ass turbulence, because otherwise I wanted that Diet Coke. And the idea that, again, it sounds like I'm being...
Do you think they're shaking the plane? Do you think they're shaking the joystick or whatever they use to pilot the plane?
In the Far Side. Do you remember that Far Side comic?
Oh,
it's literally like the captain makes an announcement.
He's freaking out and he leaves the announcer on or something?
I think the one I'm thinking of is basically the pilot says, we're going to encounter some turbulence, and then they just do that. They just
right.
They just rock the steering wheel back and forth because it's fun for them. Like that's what the turbulence is.
Isn't there another one? I think there's another one where they accidentally leave the microphone on, and I don't know why they're doing it, but they're screaming, "We're all gonna die! We're all gonna die!" And
doesn't it cut to like terrified passengers?
Yeah, a bunch of bug-eyed, but they're not, but I don't know. I don't remember why they would legitimately be saying that. Anyway, so you assume, just like hotels that are really trying to save money by having you reuse your towel, you think that they're faking turbulence. You're on the record that you think that the pilots are faking turbulence to get out of giving you a free soda.
I think that the pilots, listen, they work with the flight attendants. We want the flight attendants to be safe. So I know that I'm on the wrong side of this, but sometimes what has happened to me before is we'll be on a flight. They'll make the announcement there's going to be turbulence. Therefore, the flight attendants are going to be staying seated the whole flight, and then there's like no turbulence, and it's like, where did that weather report come from, or whatever turbulence report is? And so. Anyway, that was in the back of my mind when they announced, we're going to be seeing some turbulence as we're getting closer to Chicago. So we're going to go ahead and like wrap up our service and everything early to get our flight attendants seated. I was like, okay, whatever. And then, Andrew, let me tell you, it was turbulent. It was probably the most turbulent flight I've been on that I can remember in a long, long time. And this is the part that I've never seen before. They jumped on the mic. They said, everyone has to be sitting with your seatbelts tightly fastened. If you're in the bathroom, stay in the bathroom.
Whoa.
If you're in line, stay in line.
Really? They said if you're in line, stay in line?
Well, that was just a joke about in the days of voting. There was when there was long lines at the polls, they'd be saying, if you're in line, stay in line. You can still vote. They were saying...
Yeah, but obviously they wanted everybody to buckle up. They didn't want a line at the door, but they were actually said, because I think about that sometimes. I'm usually such a rule follower that I'm not in the bathroom when the turbulence, is happening. But every now and then it's kind of like, well, people are milling about. I can still go in there or whatever. And sometimes you're like, oh, wow, this is some turbulence while I'm in this bathroom. You kind of hang onto the wall a little bit. And they said, stay in there if you're in there.
Literally said, if you're in the bathroom, stay in the bathroom.
Wow.
And then it was really turbulent. And then, Andrew, I'm sitting, I was moved towards the front of the airplane for this. Although I did feel like 5% shamed by the flight attendant, who was lovely, actually. But she came over to me and said, in first class, I only get to fly in first class if just the people know, there's empty seats that no one has chosen to buy in first class, and then I get to go up there because of my airline status. I'm not a paying customer in first class. I'm not somebody who buys first class tickets, but I always want to kind of blend in. I don't want everyone to know that I have that I got freebied up here. I want to seem like a class individual. And so she's like, comes up, oh, hi, Luke. Okay, so you were upgraded, so we don't have a food order from you. What can I get you for breakfast or whatever? Again, she was being nice about it, but I was like, low key, the fact that I got upgraded, that I want everyone here to think, I want it to be a real Howard Schultz situation. I want everyone to think that I am, that I'm as well off and therefore as valuable as the rest of them up here in first class. But because where I was sitting, I was in the first row of the plane, the very first row. I'm looking, and I was on the aisle, so I'm looking at the first class bathroom. And after all the turbulence, and then after they say, if you're in the bathroom, stay in the bathroom. Finally, it calms down a little bit, and I just see the bathroom door open, and this woman, maybe in her 60s or 70s, who looks like she's sitting on the toilet. Her head is not like she's standing up. Her head is like she's sitting on the toilet, peeking out. Like, is it safe for me to go? Like, it was crazy. I've never seen someone open the bathroom door on the airplane, and they're clearly still sitting on the toilet.
And you think that she was actually going to the bathroom, or she was just hunkering at this point, fully clothed and hunkering? Yeah.
She was hunkering and fully clothed, but I didn't know that at first.
Yes.
All I saw was, it's like all this turbulence, and then if you're in the bathroom, stay in the bathroom. And then the bathroom door just opened, and just a lady at exactly toilet height, toilet sitting height, just go like, huh? Peeking out from the bathroom. And then she was like, she looks at the flight attendant. She's like, can I go back to my seat? And the flight attendant's like, if you want to risk it. So then, so now this lady, that's when she kind of jumps out of the bathroom, and she's making her way back to her seat quickly. And she was, obviously fully clothed. So she wasn't in the process of using the toilet when I saw her, but it was just like, it was like a weird visual that I haven't seen before.
I was just Google. If I look distracted, I don't know if you have my monitor, if you have me up on your monitor or not. I'm sorry if I look distracted, but this is airline related, but I needed to get some information. It's not about going to the bathroom on an airplane. I don't have any good stories about that, although I do have a friend who sharted while in line for the bathroom on an airplane when he was a teenager, I believe.
Oh, that's rough.
I think about that all the time. I am so glad he told me that story, because I think it has potentially prevented accidents of my own, because it is such a terrible scenario.
Yeah, just the amount of fermented food that you're consuming all week long in preparation for your flight. Just to make sure your gut health is immaculate. I don't even know if I've ever actually used like the toilet, I don't know if I've ever gone number 2 on an airplane.
I never have. I certainly never have.
It's certainly not something that I would hope was going to be happening. I would definitely, it would be a plan Z.
Yeah.
And maybe back in my slightly more alcohol-soaked days, if I was because see, I didn't get to start flying in first class until probably 5 or 10 years ago, when I got very serious about always using Alaska Airlines. And so I don't even know. I could see myself having been a little tuned up on a flight maybe, and then used the toilet or something, but I don't have a conscious memory of doing it, and it's not something that I'm looking to start now.
No, actually, that would be a good list. You know how we were doing kind of like top 5 lists? I would be like top 5 lists of places you don't want to go to the bathroom, because like that would be mid for me. Like, I don't want number 2 specifically. I don't want to do that on an airplane, but I can think of worse scenarios for sure. I mean, first of all, the absence of a toilet altogether, like in a camping situation, would be probably number 1 on the list, followed by like dive bars,
I mean, with a bullet.
Which one, dive bars or woods worse? I don't think I've ever had to do that without the assistance of an actual toilet bowl.
I would think dive bar worse, because, woods, it's not a comfortable situation, but like as a kid when we were camping, I think I'd done it a couple times. You sort of like sit, over a downed tree, do what you got to do, and then, bring some like teepee with you or whatever. It's the thing about it is it's an uncomfortable experience, but no one's going to walk in on you. And the dive bar bathroom, I'm trying to remember, this literally came up like, I don't know, a few weeks ago. I was somewhere, we were getting dinner or something or a drink, and then my stomach started to feel like a little bit, not it wasn't like a critical situation, but it was like, what I could feel was like, oh, you know what it was? It was Becca and her brother and I were at this place called Scooters in Portland. It's like a legendary this is a crazy story. Her brother, when he was like 21, he had been in this bar Scooters with his friends. And because they were kind of drunk and up to no good, he had taken an entire tray of Jell-O shots. Like it's 100 Jell-O shots, this tray that was unattended. And he was holding it under the table, and everyone's kind of taking these Jell-O shots or whatever. And he kind of thought, oh, we got away with something. There's like by the way, this is like $200 worth of Jell-O shots. It was like $2 or $3 a Jell-O shot or whatever. Well, they had security cameras. I mean, it was not so long ago that they didn't have some kind of security cameras in there, and they recognized this was his friend's favorite bar. And so the next time the friend tried to come in, they said, you're lifetime banned because you were part of that group that stole all of the Jell-O shooters from us.
No kidding. So they didn't stop him in the moment?
No, they didn't figure out at the time what was going on. It was like later they went back and reviewed the tapes. And so Scott had to go in and, like, first of all, pay for all of the shots and also apologize profusely and say, look, you can do anything that you want to me. You can throw me in that briar patch. You can ban me for life, whatever, trespass me. You cannot, please don't, like, ban my friend. This is his favorite bar, and he didn't even do anything. He wasn't even the one who stole the Jell-O shots, although he did have a couple of them. And I guess he was successful in prevailing. And we were in that bar, and this is the funny thing. The woman who was the server, the bartender, when we went in there, it's the same bartender that he had to apologize to 20 years ago.
Whoa.
Yeah. Which just tells you that...
Should she point to a photo of him behind the bar that says banned?
Well, it was funny because I was playing one of the they have those little video, because it's Oregon, they have those little video poker machines. So I'm sitting there doing that while Scott's getting us some drinks. And I was like, are you gonna remind her of who you are? He goes, after I get our drinks.
And then did she remember? Did she have any recollection?
Yes, she totally remembered.
Oh, yeah?
And was not, was not mad or anything, thought it was funny. But it was kind of crazy but all that is to say, we're sitting there and I have that feeling that's like, maybe it's a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, you just have to go use the bathroom no matter how embarrassing or gross it is. 1 is you're great. Maybe it was a 3. It was enough that I thought, let me
Is a 1 you don't have to go to the bathroom at all, or
that's why I adjusted it. I think a 1 is
a 1 is like I'm a 1 right now. I don't have to go at all.
Yes, I'm a 1.
You're a 1. You don't have to go at all, but you could go.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a good framing.
So a 0, you're at a 0 if you couldn't go. Like if right now I could not go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Okay. I think 1 is you could go if you for some reason needed to win a bet, but you don't. It's not imminent at all.
Oh God, I'm a 10. Oh God, I'm a 10.
Yeah.
No, wait, I'm back. I'm a 1 again. Okay, I'm good. Sorry. Go ahead.
So let me put it this way: it was uncomfortable enough that my thought was, I want to go see what the bathroom situation is here.
This is more than a 2. This is a 5.
Maybe it was a 5, but. Okay, we'll call it a 5. And it was, Andrew, that bathroom was exactly what I was worried it would be. Just one of those ones where it's like, I guess you could technically lock the entire room, but you go in and it's like there's a toilet and a urinal and there's no separation between the toilet and urinal. There's not like a little, door that you go into a stall to use the toilet, which also in most dive bars is inadequate.
No.
And then there's just the idea of like being in there, having that moment, having to go to the bathroom like that, and then just like drunk people walking in to use the urinal or whatever, or just like, or you lock the door and then people like bang on the door to get in. It's just like,
and then you have to eventually walk out and face the crowd.
Exactly. And so that to me, that's worse than the woods, because at least in the woods, I mean, you'll at worst you'll get judged by a bobcat.
Yeah, I suppose. I was picturing sort of a woods ceremony where there's a bunch of cloaked figures kind of in a circle around me. Yeah, young Goodman Brown had an outsized impact on me. So listen, putting aside the bathroom talk,
the goddess
for 1
is alive
second,
and magic is afoot.
Is that from Young Goodman Brown? Do you have
no? That was just like on a lot of bumpers. That was a bumper sticker. I think that's some Wiccan folks. When I was growing up, I used to see Wiccan bumper stickers in Seattle, and one of them was "The goddess is alive and magic is afoot."
Oh, I like that. I was just making sure that I am right about this. Yeah, Young Goodman Brown is that Hawthorne book. I don't know if you ever read it. It's about Puritanism. Anyway, this is not even a story. It's just something I want to ask you, and then we can maybe just go to break, because I have a feeling this is just going to probably fizzle out as a conversation. But I was on a flight somewhat recently, maybe Vegas or something, and they handed out those little pretzels. I was on Alaska,
Are they the dots?
Of course. No, they're. They don't think they have dots. They have Stellar brand pretzels. I'm looking at them now.
No,
and they're like little
think of those as
braids. They call them.
Yes, they're so flavor blasted and they're so buttery.
That's funny because I don't think of them as flavor blasted. I actually have a bit of a I don't like things that are overly flavor blasted. Like I think of like those potato chips, or I guess I like barbecue Fritos. That's the most flavor blast I will deal with. But that is flavor blasted to me. I feel like if you get the regular kind, which I had before, they are very buttery and good, and they're little pretzel twists. I wasn't sure if you'd even tried them, because I know that you're not like just eating carbs just for the sake of eating carbs or whatever. But on the flight, This last flight I took, they had a flavor called Maui Monk. I assume that is maybe monk fruit or something. Holy macaroons, Luke!
It's kind of like a sweet onion thing, right?
Maybe. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was like a little bit of tang and a little bit of sweetness. But again, I didn't think of it as being over the top flavor blasted. I couldn't believe how good they were.
Yeah, I've had those before, and they're very yummy. They are very rich, and I both always feel like there is not enough in the bag, and then also I ate too many.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah,
it's like, but then I usually get to eat Becca's if she's flying with me. But you know what I had today? I had a couple of Biscoffs too.
Do you like that?
Really,
see, I only like it on a flight, I think.
Yes, I've never like Sun Chips are endemic to the Subway sandwich franchise. I feel like Biscoff cookies are, I've never seen one not on an airplane. That's the only place I've ever seen them. And I've been skipping them for years. And then I was like, one time I think maybe I was just extra hungry or I don't know, bored. And I ate one. I was like, this is good. I like this now. So now I always eat those little Biscoff cookies. But
I don't know. I mean, it's a similar journey for me. I would always sort of turn up my nose at them. And now they're are they like gingerbread cookies?
Yeah, there's a little hint of gingerbread in there.
They're not too bad.
I need to be careful, though, eating all these cookies and pretzels and things if I'm going to continue look-smaxing, Andrew. I cannot have what happened to clavicular. I mean, you already did you and Vives talk about this on After These Messages?
No. What's the update on clavicular?
Andrew, this is maybe the only important news story in the world right now. Clavicular was just absolutely brutally frame-mogged in Arizona by... I think he's the president of a fraternity at ASU.
He was,
and it's
what happened.
It's the only thing. So remember, we were talking last week about how clavicular will go mogging people.
Yeah.
Meaning he'll stand next to them and he'll look better to them, and then them, and then they are mogged. Well, the mogger has become the moggee.
A bunch of frat guys mogged him.
A frat guy, a crazy buff frat guy, was standing behind him while he was doing his stream, and clavicular had no idea that he was in fact now the recipient of a mogging.
I'm trying to figure this out. Clavicular. I have trouble saying that. Mogged by a fan. I just keep on getting like all these New York Times like reaction pieces and like reaction to that New York Times piece about him. I'm not getting that. I think I need to be on TikTok to maybe get to figure out what actually happened here.
It's so funny, though, because now the students of Arizona State University have set up an entire, like, shrine with candles and flowers to the place where clavicular got brutally frame-mogged by this other guy. There's literally like a candlelight vigil for clavicular for how mogged he got by this other kid.
Oh, I love this headline so much because a clip of streamer, this is from the Daily Dot, always coming through for me, a clip of streamer
I'm more clavicular. Of a Times of India guy.
Yeah, I know. A clip of streamer clavicular getting frame-mogged by a frat guy has turned into the latest copy pasta meme, which I love. Copy pasta was the answer to some New York Times puzzle. It couldn't have been Wordle based on the number of letters in that, so it must have been a connections thing. And everybody, or not everybody, but a few of my friends on the text chain, on the Wordle text chain, were furious about copy pasta, thinking it was a made-up word. And here it is, right here in the as you said it, Luke, the most important headline of our day. He was frame-mogged by a frat guy. It's turned into the latest copy pasta meme. Oh, yeah, look at this guy. Yeah, he's really, really buff.
I mean, honestly, I think the buff kid is too buff.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, that's the thing, right?
He's like, I don't think that's, you could look smacks into the void, and then the void look smacks is back. You know what I mean? Like,
so how did clavicular handle this?
Unclear right now, because like that's the thing. I don't know if in the moment he even realized he was being mogged. You know what I mean? And so like, I don't know. I was literally having this thought, like, could this be the undoing of clavicular?
Oh, and then where will we be?
Well, just because the only currency in this world of whatever it is he's doing is if people, it's sort of like money, right? If you've all decided it has value, then I guess it can have value. And then if all of a sudden it's like, oh man, clavicular got R.I.P. clavicular, he got totally mogged. And if all of a sudden he's just seen as like, the butt of the joke instead of the maker of the joke. He could literally just like the whole thing could fall apart because it's not built on anything real.
Have you watched the video of it or only seen the photos?
I think I saw a video of it on TikTok on the flight.
Can I play this? It's like 10 seconds.
Please.
Appreciate you. Crimson Tide? Don't you stop. You got me by a lot. I stopped gymming.
Well, this is great sound. I feel like the sound brings me closer to the story. What about you?
Yes. Oh, it's a way in. I think it's a way into the piece. Because I looked at this today, because I was looking up at the frame mogging that was happening to clavicular, I then started getting, immediately on the algorithm, I was trying to do real work, by the way, but I couldn't log into my CBS travel filing system because it needs to do dual authentication. And for some reason, it doesn't like to text me on the plane. Like I have the internet on the plane, but when I get to that screen and then it says, we're going to send you a code, it kind of never, and then I land and then the code comes through 8 times. There's something about it doesn't like to text you the code properly. So this is the reason why I had to just look at looksmaxing and frame mogging for a significant portion of the flight.
To be honest with you, and I'm not looking to be offended here, but I'm a little insulted by that. You said you were trying to do real work, as in research for CBS is more important than the content that you're bringing to this show. And frame mogging is content for TBTL, and this is work, and this is real work, and it's part of our lives.
This is the essential question of our time.
It is.
This is art.
Absolutely.
And so I started getting all of this looksmaxing content, and it was like, so one of the things that these guys do is they. What, are you seeing it too?
No, what I'm seeing is one of the funniest things I've ever seen before. Which is somebody has made a meme of it's a black and white photo of a bunch of World War II soldiers, and there's like 4 of them in the frame, and they're all holding newspapers, and they photoshopped it so that there's a huge headline on each newspaper that says clavicular mogged, and it is the funniest image I've ever seen in my life. It's gotta be the show pick. Sorry to interrupt.
That's great. No, we like that. We're all about real-time reactions on this show. It's dynamic. It's live. It's all happening. So one of the things that they'll do that I don't know if Clavicular invented this or popularized it, but they will, because he's obsessed with this idea of like the ratio of your face. You know, you want to have a wide jaw. You want to have certain bones sticking out or whatever. And so he will hit himself with this like metal hammer-like object on his orbital, like right under into the side of his eye. And then the idea is that you make these, I don't know if this is really what's happening, if he's actually breaking his face or if it's just a bit because he knows it'll get attention. But the theory of it is you're hitting your bone with this like metal, not just like a regular hammer, it's something kind of rounder, and then you make these little micro fractures and then the bone grows back stronger and bigger. And so you get these supposedly these like large, I guess, cheekbones or whatever they are. So yeah, that was a big part of my morning, was just, going even further down the looksmaxing, mogging rabbit hole. I heard Alyssa Liu. Oh, by the way, I guess she has asked that people say her last name Liu.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting because I saw another actor. His name is Simon Liu, and he was talking about this. I believe he was talking about this basically like kind of going, yeah, I mean, it's Liu is closer to how it would be pronounced, like, in, I guess, Mandarin or whatever. Obviously, people can say, they can ask that you pronounce their name however they want you to, But like, there's a lot of folks that have the same last name as Alyssa Liu who would use Liu. She wants to use Liu. So in case people are tracking why I'm shifting how I'm saying her last name, I'm trying to be responsive to what she has made her wishes known to be. But she was talking about mogging. She just like brought up, like, this is just one of these things that like a week ago I literally never heard the word, and now I feel like is everyone under 25 has everyone under 25 been just gooning and mogging and just using these? Don't look that up, kids.
Don't look it up.
Don't look it up if you're under 18. But like, it's just so funny when and it's all just so silly anyway, but like when there's this like a word or a term or a whatever, a behavior that I had no idea was a thing 10 days ago, and now it's almost the only content that I am consuming.
So I'm going to ask you to do something that I usually ask you to do the opposite of. But before we go to break here, will you just look at your phone and look at the photo that I just sent you and just tell me why I think it's so funny? I mean, I already described it to you, but somehow the actual photo is so much funnier than the description. Or maybe it was funny to me because I didn't know it was coming, and now I've oversold it to you. But these soldiers,
oh my gosh, it's great. No, it's really good.
The show pick today. Really that might be my profile pick going forward.
I mean, that's incredible. And also, like, I mean, part of why this is so good is because it was presumably made by somebody who is, born like, post 9/11, right? Like somebody who's probably 20 years old, 22 years old. So good on them for then going back and finding one of these, like a photo, like, V-Day or whatever, reading about like, American triumph. Like, I like that this is a joke. I like that this is a very new joke, but also in a kind of old format that I'm impressed that like a 22-year-old knows about.
Yes, and that it actually is a bit of social commentary. You know what I mean? It's not just a silly joke. And honestly, when it comes to like, because I've been seeing some like, very earnest postings. I haven't read the articles, but it's blue sky. What are you going to do? Like some very earnest kind of like articles and think pieces about how like don't just start letting these terms mogging, like they come from such an insidious place.
Yeah, it's
like
such
don't
a gross...
normal, and it is. And maybe for our listeners who are getting ready to email us and saying this isn't a laughing matter, this is really gross, clavicular singing the "I Love Nazis" Kanye song or whatever. Again, there's a whole sentence that I'd love to see a diagram of that. So obviously it's all bad. We're just trying to giggle wherever we freaking can these days. And if I can't make fun of clavicular, who can I make fun of? But what I like about both this clavicular mogged, like they are actually in this photo, they are making a social statement saying like, just imagine how earlier generations who had who were in the trenches would be thinking about clavicular right now. But I also would say the one thing that you were sort of saying about like, I'll even group in gooning since you raised the specter of it, or mogging or other things that the listener shouldn't look up. They irritate me less because they have an actual meaning. Like that whole skibbity thing, I never went
or
in
6'7".
Yeah, 6'7". Yeah, even then, I'm a little bit more like okay about it. It's become such a cultural thing. It's like okay, whatever. But like the skibbity thing that was just like nonsense talk, and like a bunch of like 5-year-olds somehow convinced adults that is what we should be sort of saying. Like I'm just like I was always against that, and I never really thought it was a thing. It was just like actual child talk, which is totally fine for the children, but I was always very irritated by pop culture for picking that up too much. You know what I mean?
Right. Totally. And the fact that, yeah, you're right. At least with these other things, they are, I guess we're going to say they're a verb.
They're a way of communicating an action or something. You know, they do describe something. It's not like, hey, we just made up something really, really just totally random, and now we're going to get everybody to say it, and then we're going to giggle. Again, children can act like children. I didn't like the fact that we all kind of chased that.
I was surprised at, I went to that bingo thing in Olathe, Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a big turnout because the prize was very big, $30,000+ for this one game they were playing. Whew. Packed house, very American, like Pledge of Allegiance before we started the bingo. And the guy leading it said, "With reverence."
Wow.
Which it's been a while since I've been in a room where 300 people are reciting the Pledge of Allegiance with reverence.
Yeah.
And a couple of things that were kind of, well, one, somebody said 6'7" and everyone laughed. And I could not, because there was like a smattering of children there, but like,
but for the most part, 6'7" was the lowest age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe 7'6".
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so the idea that and like the room laughed, like that the penetration, if you will, of that whatever the hell 6'7" was, I was kind of shocked that in that room it played. The other thing that was so kind of interesting about it was a lot of folks who happened to be older who, they would announce the number B7 or whatever, B11. They also had it all on camera, like, the ball comes out of the thing, and there's TVs in all the corners of the room so you can see the ball.
Keeping an eye on things.
And it lights up the board, the bingo scoreboard. So, but people were really, I had I had this one woman approach me and our producer David, and she said, "Hi, I'm with a 96-year-old woman, and she has a really difficult time hearing. The guy running the bingo thing said that we were supposed to be really loud because that would be better TV, but we can't hear if there's any noise. We can't hear the numbers that are being called." I was like, "Well, listen, we don't want to ruin the bingo game. We didn't ask anybody to be extra loud. We're fine with whatever you would do normally.
Yes, be yourself."
And this is what I always say to folks about this TV stuff is like, I would like you to be as much as possible acting exactly like you would be if we weren't here. That's the ideal. We're just trying to document what's going on, and we certainly don't want to make the experience worse for people by having it be extra noisy. And so the bingo game starts, and people are still getting seated. People are kind of hyped, kind of excited. So there's what I thought to be a very minimal amount of small talk going on, and then you just have this guy, this bear of a man, probably in his 70s, in like kind of like a jumpsuit, like maybe just got done at his like machinist job or something. And he just, again, we've just pledged allegiance to the flag. It's a fundraiser for the American Legion of Olathe, Kansas. And I didn't even realize people were talking a little bit. And this guy, he just goes, "Shut the F," but he doesn't say the F. He says the real word. "Shut the bleep up." In like, first of all, you know how I get like, I'm very triggered by unexpected loud sounds. I was standing like 4 feet from him.
And I'm sorry, who is he talking to?
He is yelling. He wants everyone in the room when they're playing bingo, or if they're just in the room selling the, concessions or whatever, to be silent while the numbers are being called. Because if it gets noisier and noisier, if people are talking, I guess then you can't hear the numbers. Again, you could look at the numbers, although I guess maybe if you're somebody who's at a certain age and you have some hearing trouble, maybe also seeing the TV screens could be kind of tough.
Sure.
So by the time they got to the big games, so there was 24 bingo games, and the first 12 were like, they were slightly less. The prize pool wasn't quite as much, but for the second half of the night, these were like $500 games and $250, and there was a $750 game. Andrew, when I tell you, you could hear a pin drop in that place. It was weird because it's like, I think of bingo as like at the Eagles with you guys, and I don't feel like anyone's ever yelled "be quiet."
No.
That game.
People have yelled all kinds of other things, but it's usually more of a partying cry.
Totally, and that's, I guess, what I thought, it was going to be like. This was a different animal, what I was seeing in Olathe, Kansas. It was like, again, total silence when the numbers were being read. And like, there was a lot of money on the line, and people were having fun too, but it was just funny because the way I think of bingo is like drag bingo or like Eagles bingo. And it's like, it's almost just kind of an excuse to have some beer and throw these crumpled up, bingo cards at your friends after they win or whatever. This was not quite as loosey-goosey as I was.
Yes, a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then they have this thing called the Queen of Hearts drawing. And this was the thing that was $33,000. And the way that works is, do you know about this? One of these things?
I'm pretty sure this is what we have on the wall at the Eagles, but I've never participated in it. Is this with all the little envelopes that a card slips in and they pull out a card?
Yes, essentially. Yeah. So it's just a side raffle. It's not a bingo game. You can buy as many tickets as you want. And then, they put it in this big drum. It's got all these tickets in it. It starts, when someone hits it, it goes down to some minimal number. But this one had been going for, I think, a year or something already. That's how it got to $35,000. And basically the way it works is they have this big poster board like thing that has 52 cards on it, but it's like when you pull a window and pull tabs kind of thing. So you got the cards, but you don't know what's behind.
Yeah.
You pull the back of a card off and you get the whatever, the something, ace of spades or whatever. Go real Lemmy on it. But so what happens, of course, is the prize pot grows and grows and grows. And there's also now fewer and fewer and fewer cards that we don't know what the card is. So it was down to 4 cards.
Damn.
And this guy, like, they pull his number out and he comes up and I'm like, this is life-changing money in Olathe, Kansas. I mean, anywhere really. Yeah. And like this guy goes up and he's got a 1 in 4 chance. And he doesn't pull it. He pulls the lead.
Damn it!
And I was like, it was interesting because I was
he get anything? Does he get like some sort of
like I think
price?
$50 or something? Yeah. It drops way down.
Yeah.
But like I was just like, I was wondering if I was that guy, if I'd almost wished I wouldn't have had my name drawn. Like, I wonder if it's, if it's worse to not have had the chance or to have had the chance and to know that if I just would have gone to one of these other 4 leftover cards, I could be a 35,000 right now. And now I'm not. I wonder, he was, let me put it this way. He looked a little grim walking away from the stage.
Yeah, you can't help but to picture.
Yeah,
I mean that money.
And now it's 3.
Now it's 3, and I almost wonder, what if the next 2 people also have bad luck and it's down to 1? You just leave the card in there, and basically whoever wins the raffle just knows that they won. They don't even really have to pull the card.
I guess that.
Although I
went
feel
to
like there could be some Encyclopedia Brown. Are you getting like Encyclopedia Brown vibes around this? Like there's only 1 card left, but it turns out it's still not the Ace of Spades, and it's somehow Bugs Meany.
Bugs Meany is at it again.
Yeah. Does that? I don't know why I'm getting those vibes.
Well, the people take this very seriously. I was talking to one of the American Legion, officers or whatever. He's like a motorcycle guy. He's a veteran, and he's like, I wear a lot of hats here. He's one of those kind of guys. He's got like a leather vest on that has all of the different things he does associated with the American Legion, including he's their press officer. He's got a press officer patch on his like leather, his leather, motorcycle vest or whatever. He was actually a sweet dude, but he was like, he goes, every time I'm up here, because he does the drawings sometimes, and he goes, I pray to God it's not someone that I know. It's not my wife who plays. That's my wife.
Yeah.
Like there was this guy from a different American Legion who, when it was 70,000, that's the guy that won it. And apparently it was a scandal because it was someone who wasn't part of the Olathe Legion. So it felt like some interloper. Somebody came over from wherever else and won. And everyone was mad. And they also thought, like, because that guy is part of they're called the Riders. I think they're like veterans who like motorcycles who somehow turned that into their personality vis-a-vis the American Legion. But I was like, yeah, dude,
bunch of liberal
the
snowflakes,
crown.
I'm guessing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
With reverence.
Luke, I was thinking about this weekend because Vives and I were in Gig Harbor and we saw an Eagles. I don't know if you've ever been to the Eagles in Gig Harbor. I don't know why you would be. But Vives and I rarely do this. We're like, well, let's just go in. Like, let's just see what the deal is. It's fun to see what's going on. It's actually a really, really nice one. And I saw the dice game and I thought, and I don't know if I would have played it anyway, but I was like, no, not here. And I know that I've had that thought before. I think maybe when visiting like the the Eagles, maybe in Ballard or something, which I also did a couple of months ago. Like I probably overly so am so self-conscious of being in somebody else's sort of turf. Not that the Eagles are turfy, but just that like. You don't want to come in and play the dice game that a bunch of people have been rolling every single night for a while, and then you win $500 or something, and that'd be pretty sweet for me. But then it's kind of like, I don't know. That just seems like a bad look. That just seems like a bad vibes to me.
Right, and of course, the fact that you wouldn't want to win it because you'd be worried about the vibes would be why you would win it. That's
right, exactly.
That's
so
how jinxes and things like that work.
Yeah.
At one point, we were like, well, should I, would it be a more fun, more interactive, I don't know, part of the story if I'm playing along or something? And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to win.
Yeah.
I don't want the guy from the TV guy to come in and then win, and then, that would look sus.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I
did not
guess you could set it
participate.
up and just say, hey, listen, just consider these dummy cards. Like, I'm going to play along, and if I win, I'll yell bingo, but not take the money or something. But then that would confuse the story, I suppose.
On Friday night, I'm going to Indianapolis from here to attend something we're going to film called Bingo Loco, which is like apparently like part rave, part bingo. I don't think anyone there is allowed to yell quiet down. I think the whole idea is that it's loud and raucous. So I'll give you a full report on Monday about how Bingo Loco was.
We was hoping for some razzle-dazzle.
Razzle-dazzle.
That's right, man, razzle-dazzle.
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody razzle dazzle.
All right, let's do some thanking of some dazzling donors. These folks are donating a dazzling amount of dough, and it is the financial lifeblood of the show. This is 100% listener-supported podcasting going on here. We want to thank BK Bleakley, who's in San Diego, California. I bet you it is a lot warmer in San Diego than it is here in Chicago.
Is it pretty snowy there, too? Windy? Cold,
it's not snowy.
lake
It's
effect?
just cold. Just lake effect, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
BK says, I became a Dazzler a few years ago, and I was so nervous about my inaugural dazzling message in early 2024, but the reading was amazing. Paula Poundstone reminiscences, very kind words about my choice of charity, a real awe from Luke, everything I could have asked for. Oh, I'm glad, BK. We aim to please. Then the rest of 2024 happened. My charity imploded in an embezzlement scandal.
Jeez. Now, I think that is the... I mean, just to be very clear, that is the charity that BK was kind of talking about in their dazzling donor message,
Yes.
right? Not BK's actual charity that she runs.
I don't think this is.
Yeah.
I think it was the charity that BK was advocating for.
Right.
Turned out to have some problems. BK says, I had to quit listening to a bunch of my podcasts for 4 months because they were too smug ahead of the election and too depressed after. Also, the election itself, 2 household moves in 12 months, and my husband's health taking a serious hit. Oh, I'm sorry, BK. So I didn't do a message last year. I was entirely focused on getting through tough times. Okay, I want all 3 business boys to know that TBTL was quite literally a bright spot in my life 5 days a week through the blurst of times, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to continue contributing at the dazzling donor level to keep the show going. I'm a much better person. I'm in a much better place now, and yet I still miss TBTL on weekends. So you guys are all doing your jobs well. Wow.
Wow. Thank you.
That's incredible, BK. What a nice compliment. I would kind of figure, I think I said this yesterday on the show, I got to get some new stories or something. I mean, thank God for mogging. Right?
Yeah, right.
Came in at the exact right moment. But the idea that BK on a Saturday would be like, hey, I would still actually accept more TBTL. That's pretty amazing. I think, we'd have worn out our welcome by Friday.
Did you say that you, what did you mean when you said sometimes you're running out of stories? You mean podcasts to listen to or stories to bring to TBTL?
Things for me to say to you.
Oh, okay.
On the air. Just kind of I'm constantly shocked and humbled by the fact that people have been listening to the show for many, many years, because I just think when I'm having a less confident moment, I'm just feeling I don't know, am I just retreading the same 4 stories or whatever? But people like BK, they're ride or die, and we really appreciate it. BK says, this year I want to shout out standwithminnesota.com. It's an amazing site that has compiled links to all kinds of organizations that are providing aid to those that are hiding in their homes, have likely lost their jobs, are unable to shop for groceries or pay rent, etc. I can't think of another cause more worthy. Thanks, Biz Boys. What you do is so important. So that website, again, is standwithminnesota.com. On the subject of which, our friend Michelle sent us a little note, a little link to an article. Knock me over with a coal smoked charred pork chop, Andrew. Mancini's Char House raised $35,000 to help support basically the organization
efforts.
Yeah, the resist movement in the Twin Cities.
It's amazing.
And I have to tell you, that was so pleasantly shocking, because that place, we obviously went there one night. We had an epic night at Mancini's Char House, so much so that the owners, I think maybe he's the current owner, his dad I think was the guy that started it, drove us home. That's how in the bag we were and how late it was. It was a very fun. Remember, we met the guy who was obsessed with the local wrestling circuit. He was obsessed with Baron von Raschke, the Claw,
and he always knock his head to try to remember things.
Knock his head when he would be trying to remember something or make a point. It was just such a beautiful night, but I still would have not necessarily assumed that a old classic, I'll call it a steakhouse. That's not really exactly what it is.
It's a char house. Yeah, it's a char house, right? It's a steakhouse.
But you just you don't know what the politics are going to be. And I mean, it's not it wasn't a vegan, a vegan cafe or something
maybe even if their politics are good, not necessarily, well, we're going to stick our necks out. We're going to be on the front lines of this. But I mean, there's something about Minnesota that I remember being a young, kind of like a very young producer, and I think one of the producers who I worked for, like a senior producer, was maybe from Minnesota originally, and I kind of asked her to explain to me the Paul Wellstoniness of Minnesota. It didn't seem, because I came from the Midwest, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to paint the entire region with the same brush, but it's like, a lot of those states are purple at best, or you don't know. And I was just like, what is, I didn't understand the long legacy of progressivism in the Midwest that is, Minnesota.
Yeah, no, you're right. It seems like it has a special, and it's I think you're exactly right to point out Paul Wellstone, rest in power, but just this kind of progressive, taking care of your community, sort of, I think generally pro-labor, just kind of like old school progressive ideals and policies that seems something special about the state of Minnesota that seems to really prize that stuff. So thank you again, BK, for your support of the show. We really appreciate it. Hope everybody in your family is doing well and feeling better. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with us for another year. Maestro.
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody razzle dazzle.
The other dazzling donor that we want to thank is Eric Smith. He's out there on beautiful Bainbridge Island, Washington, one of the most idyllic places you could ever be in your life.
I was
Absolutely
let's see.
Lovely.
If I was in Gig Harbor, that's kind of below. Is that below Bainbridge or just across the water, or both? Maybe.
Well, what it is it's kind of the southern. I'm going to get this wrong, and somebody's going to correct me, but it's kind of the southern. Gig Harbor is down there, kind of like you've gone. If you're coming from the Seattle side, you've gone down through Tacoma.
Yeah.
You're either on the Narrows Bridge, or maybe you're about to get on the Narrows Bridge or whatever. And so then you kind of do this horseshoe thing where if you keep going, you go across 16, you go through Gig Harbor, and then if you start going north again, just on the other side of the water, now you're going north again, and then eventually you could wend your way around to Bainbridge.
That's what I was
Bainbridge
thinking, yeah.
is pretty close to see it. Like if you're looking at just like, what is it, latitudes? If you're looking at latitudes, Bainbridge is not that different than Seattle. It's just on the other side of the water.
Yeah.
And it's where Eric Smith is, who
Hi,
says,
Eric.
Business boys, another dazzling year with the Cobros. Thanks for all the spoofs and the goofs. He actually writes groofs. So I think that might be where Eric was going, more of a groof.
Maybe more of a groof. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. Nice one, Eric. What you do is so important. And cheers to the 10s, the 5s, and 11s out there, hoping for 2026 to be Skyjinx free, all first-class upgrades, and Avis wizardry.
Nice. That seems very catered to your wants and desires.
Yeah, I didn't mention pickles at all.
No.
Mentioned almost nothing about pickles. Speaking of, what do we got? Do we have an update on that whole situation? You brought down the Cleveland pickles and a Grillo's pickle as a kind of a sort of a double blind.
Did I tell you that, or did you see it in my hand? I brought down the Grillo's because I thought maybe I need a chaser. Oh, maybe I said that before the break. That was my thought process.
Critically, what I want to know is, would the Grillo pickle like us or just think we were nerds?
The logo, the mascot guy.
Yeah. He seems like a pretty
I think he's
cool
very
dude.
chill. I think that this is like PDUSA energy, sort of, maybe a little bit. Like I don't think the Grillo pickle guy is judging much, at all. But here's the Cleveland kitchen is a much more kind of, I don't know if austere is the right word, but it's a little more of a classy kind of branding. There are no
it's a little bit upscale.
A little bit upscale, and there are no spokes pickles involved so far as I can tell. They look good. I don't know how well you can see that, but again, this is a package very much in the Grillo style. I'm pulling one out here. I also I refilled my water in case I need a chaser, and I brought in a Fresca as well. So you can
how about a Fresca?
So I'm going to try this first one here. Okay. And by the way, this ties into, I assume if we still have time, I'm very anxious about, I was almost going to say, John, don't clip this for social media. I don't like the idea of eating on camera. And that is something I share with the head of McDonald's, I think, as well. So I'm just going to take one bite of this, but just so you know, Luke, this is going to be my lunch. This is
this is going to be your lunch. Okay.
This is an incredible product right here. This is.
Do you even know how to attack it, though?
This is an incredible product. So okay, let's try this thing.
Okay, hold on. He's taking a bite now. Oh boy, it just defaulted to drum roll too long with fanfare. I won't torture everyone with it. I'll give you some time. I'm just narrating now for folks. Andrew took a big bite of a pickle spear, so he's chewing it. He's now in sort of quiet reflection. You can see that he's getting different sort of tasting notes, and he's just.
I think I just crapped my pants.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's
okay. Well,
they work. These work. Is that what gut health it means? I don't know what gut health means. No, it's pretty good. It does so. And I don't understand this stuff. I think that if it were like, like if I was just standing over the sink and I pulled this pickle out of a Grillo's jar and somebody had like accidentally or to play a prank on me swapped them out or something, I don't know that I would notice the slight difference in taste. It does have a little bit more of a. And I can't tell if this is I'm knocking on my head like that guy from Mancini's, but it might just be in my head. But like, it does have maybe even a slightly brighter taste, like a slightly more. So they make it with living cultures. Is that the difference between? Are all pickles made with living cultures, and they're just leaning into this idea of gut health? I feel like there's something that I'm tasting that is maybe a little bit more sparkly, but a tiny bit.
Maybe there's a tiniest bit of fizz.
But the tiniest of bits that I don't know how much I trust myself on this and how much
is
this
the
just
power
in my
of
head.
Suggestion.
But it's definitely good, and I definitely don't have to worry about because I have no idea how much I paid for these, but I'm guessing at Sprouts, sort of specialty pickles. I'm guessing these weren't the cheapest pickles I've ever bought in my life.
Well, that's what when you were talking about throwing them away one pickle spear at a time, I was like, if Genevieve hears about that, there's going to be, how many Fubos is that? So I'm glad that they are edible. So that's that's a good end to the story.
That is pretty good. And I do like the fact that they're not, I'm sorry to be talking with my mouth full, but kind of my job here, but I love Grillo's. I don't need them spicy, though. I don't hate the spiciness, but I want the option of non-spicy Grillos, and I guess maybe that's what this solves a little bit. I don't understand why it's got to be all spicy all the time.
Hello and welcome to Top Story.
All right, our top story is one we've been trying to get to for a few days. We're finally doing it now, and it is, of course, the story of the McDonald's CEO eating, I think it's called the, what is it, the Arch Burger?
Arch Deluxe, I want to say.
The Arch Deluxe, which I feel like there used to be, I don't know if they're bringing this back. There was something called the Arch Deluxe back in the day that I loved when I was like a kid or a teenager. I thought it was really good.
What made it different?
Well, I remember my memory of it, I could be wrong because it was a long time ago now, but it was like it had mayo. It had it had mayo and lettuce, which I guess a lot of their sandwiches do, but somehow it was, you know what it was? It seemed like a more premium kind of a burger.
You are right, though. It was 96. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're absolutely right. It was a hamburger sold by the international fast food restaurant McDonald's in 1996 and marketed specifically to adults.
Ah, yes, that's what it was. They were trying to, be like, we're making good, high-quality hamburgers. And I'll tell you, I thought it was pretty good and high quality. So I guess they're bringing it back or they're doing some spin on it. And so because ABC, always be contenting, because we have to, we live in a world now where, if you work in comms for McDonald's, you have to find every opportunity to try to create memorable content around your products. And boy, did they. I don't think for the reasons that they necessarily intended. Do you have the name of the CEO of McDonald's in front of you?
I don't. I can look it up. One thing that I'm noticing that I think is notable, though, here is I'm on the Wikipedia page for the Arch Deluxe, and it's not mentioning anything about this viral video. Like how this has become news. Like how are the Wikipedia authors not adding this latest installment of the Arch Deluxe saga? I'm being kind of serious here.
No, that is, that would be maybe the most interesting thing about this whole thing. By the way, his name is Chris Kepchinski. I think he goes by like Chris K or something. He has like some kind of a cool, he says it in the video too. Like, and just if you haven't seen the video, this guy is a very, very straight-laced appearing individual. He's very trim. He's wearing a collared shirt under a V-neck sweater, he has that. Well, first of all, to be the CEO of McDonald's, you've probably had to go to business school, and like just one look at this guy, and I was like, this is a Harvard business school guy, like without a doubt. This is probably not a guy who worked his way up from the fryer and just eventually took over the company. This is a person. He went to Duke. He went to the Harvard Business School. He's a business boy. He also looks like he's very like. My guess would be he also runs marathons on the side. He just seems like.
If you don't mind me, I'm sorry to interrupt,
Please.
but I just need to correct the record. This is not the Arch Deluxe. That's why we're not seeing this on the website. This is something called the Big Arch, I guess. So this is not the Arch Deluxe. I guess that name was just lodged in my brain from the past.
Gotcha. So they decide that they're going to do this video where he's going to eat one of these Big Arch burgers, and enjoy it and how delicious it is. And that will just be some good, Instagram content for people and will maybe inspire people to want to go try this burger. Now, the problem is that, the guy just is a little stiff on camera, which, listen, as a person who kind of works in television and I talk to a lot of people like this, I'm often shocked at how little charisma some people have when their job should be mostly charisma. Like, because it's also kind of a job of being a quant, just being like a numbers person and being like, we gotta up this sale and we got to identify softening, parts of our marketplace that are soft and, so that person who's maybe good at that side of it is not always going to be like the most dynamic person on camera. And this guy is, pretty low key, but he also is using, as you'll hear, like a lot of corporate speak. Like what he does not come off in the video is being a person who eats at McDonald's at all. Ever.
Right.
Like it is so unbelievably apparent right away that he doesn't seem very comfortable holding what he calls the product. He doesn't it feels very much like, the CEO of McDonald's is trying to pretend that he eats McDonald's food. And it really shows. At least that's how it kind of comes off. Let me play you the original video of him, and then I've got a reaction video that I thought the guy made some pretty good points. But here we go.
Chris K here you've heard about it. Here it is. The Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do
I love this product.
This is the most CEO speak like I've ever heard. And also just what he thinks. And again, I'm not trying to. He's probably a sweet guy. He
seems like a sweet guy. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to roast him, but this is exactly the kind of thing. For some reason, of course, because I have to center myself in every conversation. Sometimes we'll be interviewing someone, for a CBS story, and there'll be someone in corporate America, and it's almost always they want to point out some part of the story that is not generally of interest to people, but because it's their world. So, for instance, nobody needs to know that it's been tested in Portugal.
Yeah.
That's not...
You're not leading with that? That is the most by the way, just so you know, I'm not with the hordes of people who are who just think that this is the most embarrassing thing in the world. I'm sort of mid on this. And like you say, he actually seems like a sweet guy. I don't think they should have made this video, but it's not over the top to me. But yeah, the very first, if you want to advertise just pump up your burger, only somebody who is watching charts go up and down like they do in, business school, I assume, would start by saying, we're so excited about this, we tested it in Portugal.
Yeah, that is such a weird way to get into the topic of a big, delicious hamburger. Let's see here.
a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it.
By the way, this is where I empathize with him because as I've been saying a lot on the show of late, for some reason, I am bad at talking about food. If you set me up with one of these burgers and said take a bite of it and tell us about it, I would be struggling more mightily than he is.
Counterpoint, you aren't the head of what is likely to be the biggest restaurant chain in the world.
That's, you know what? I think that's a valid counterpoint. That is a very valid counterpoint. Here we go. Here's more of this guy.
We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce.
So that's a half a pound. If I just I did that math just right off the dome.
I'll be honest with you. It's so rare that I go to McDonald's, and if I do, it'll usually be some sort of maybe breakfast thing. I told you, like, maybe if I'm, watching my friend's cats and I pass that McDonald's on a random morning, I might stop in. But, like, can't remember the last time I had a burger for lunch from McDonald's. But when I did do that, like, throughout college and young adulthood, I would get a double quarter pounder. That was my go-to. I don't know if that sounds excessive to people. Double quarter pounder, no cheese, ketchup, and pickles and onions.
My friend, everybody gets like what they like, but for me, the thing that makes the quarter pounder is that American cheese. I love that American cheese so much. It's a beautiful cheese. I love your cheese. All right, here's more from this guy.
And of course, some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth.
Now, here's something that is pointed out in the reaction video that we'll play next. He takes a bite of this burger, Andrew, that is, I would say, imperceptible. He makes absolutely no noticeable change in the circumference, the diameter. I'm not a math guy. It almost, I don't think he took a pretend bite, but it almost looks like he's doing a pretend bite.
He just put it up to his lips.
Yeah, basically. Like it is like the whole thing is they're like, this is a double patty and this is, this big juicy burger and it's going to fill you up and everything. It's like, you need, like, get the fry cook in there and have him just friggin' mog the shit out of this thing. Not like delicately take, because of course he's in CEO brain. So his thought is like, well, I can't get like mayo all over my face. I'm trying to look presentable while eating this burger. But I think it'd be more compelling if he wasn't, if he just, just fully dove in like a cartoon character into the burger.
I don't think you're getting into this, so hopefully this isn't a spoiler that ruins the conversation. But did you happen to see the CEO of Burger King, like, took a bite of whatever their version of this is, and it's just like so at ease with himself and just takes a big messy bite and says, "Oh, you need a napkin," but he's like he's kind of got this effortless handsomeness to him, and it's just like it is the complete opposite of it. I think they did that in reaction to this, or it was just
I think
old
they did
footage.
too. I saw a headline.
It was pretty good. They didn't make a huge deal of it, but it was kind of a dunk.
I mean, shouldn't they have had the king do it?
That would be something, yeah.
Just as weird. I mean, who knows what goes on in that guy's brain? Unsettling.
That was it a creation of, or I believe the first commercials starring that creepy ass king were directed by your friend.
Go off, creepy ass king.
Ruben Fleischman, by the way.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that whole, it's like part Guy Fawkes.
It's
part
weird,
V
isn't
for
it?
Vendetta.
It really is. You're right.
Part subservient chicken. Cannot speak. Will not speak. It's like the energy is weird.
iBurger was the name of the show about him. It's an iRobot joke. It didn't work. Let's move on.
Here we go.
That is so good. That's a big bite for a big arch. It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness, but those crispy onions as well gives a nice texture. And of course, we've got the pickles. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lunch, but Big Arch, try it when you can get it. Chris K here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought he was going to say Chris K out, which would actually
that would be amazing.
Actually, amazing.
Nobody's talking about that. I mean, the fact that he also starts by saying, "Just so you know, I'm just going to have a taste here, but this is going to be my lunch later." It's like he's definitely. And again, I first of all, I don't blame him at all, and I think that you and I are on the same page just based on the promos I've been hearing you say about this. It's like they just shouldn't have done it with him. I mean, he should have probably also been like, I'm not the person for this. Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? For this kind of thing, it doesn't matter what your title is, but somebody had the idea of getting the executive, like the people who work under this guy are probably so excited when they get any FaceTime with him.
Yes.
And somebody, it was like a huge boon for someone to be like, I think we can get Chris K to, and he has, his last name is somewhat hard to say, right?
Yeah.
You said it before, it's like an Eastern European name or something, but
yeah.
So he goes by Chris K or whatever, but that all the people who heard that he might be willing to do this were just like freaking out at this idea of this guy doing it because he is just king of the mountain there, right? Because in not even corporate culture, I just feel like I'm gleaning a little bit of this. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but like even on campus, like I just know that if people, I think, get very excited when they meet Genevieve because of Genevieve's proximity to the president, just by the very nature of her title. You know what I mean? Without even really thinking about, like, what does that mean in reality?
Totally. And like I have been, well, first of all, I was involved in something like a cousin of this. Carrie and I years ago somehow were in that Microsoft thing that was supposed to be like a response to like a big Apple announcement. But it was the whole process was really tortured, and what ended up getting created by the end of it kind of made no sense. And then they sat on it for weeks, and then they put it up, and then they took it down when they got criticized. It was like such a mess. But whenever these corporations try to do something that's somehow like more cash, and unless you've got the right people doing it, I mean, you basically need some moggers or some looksmaxers or somebody doing you need somebody of Alyssa Liu's generation who just is a digital native and like gets it. Because I've been in these rooms where you have the idea is we're going to do something that is like not stiff. It's just kind of like a fun thing. He's going to eat the burger or whatever. They're going to like talk about the new Apple something or other, but from a Microsoft perspective. But everyone in the room who is part of the communications team, part of the whatever, the assistant to Chris K, everyone's buttholes are so puckered. Like it's the opposite of like a fun, casual, creative environment. Even though everybody is trying to act like, oh, this is going to be so fun. We're just going to like shoot it like vertical, and we'll just like it'll just be like a cool little thing. But it's like it's so hard for all of these well-paid people in suits and nice business attire to actually like let anything fun and interesting and weird happen.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to film it vertical, but there's a million people off camera staring at him, probably killing the vibe as well. This is a small thing, but one thing for me is like the surroundings are just so soul-killing to me.
Well,
like,
is there a Tom Petty sign behind him?
Oh, yes.
Or
It's like
it...
Petty Ave, but I don't know if that's related to Tom Petty or not. But it's like such a corporate... Like, if I worked in a place that had a lunchroom like this or whatever this room is, like, I guess I'd be fine with it. It's, it's a workplace, but it just reeks of workplace so much. It's just like so... It just looks like... It just looks like
drop ceiling above him.
Yeah, drop ceiling, and also, and this is just my own thing. That table, it's like one of those faux marble-ish tables with like browns and whites. Like that is literally my least favorite countertop look. Like I just hate. There's something I hate about that so much, and there's just like I don't know where he should be doing this. Like it would be interesting if he actually propped his damn phone up on his dashboard and was behind the wheel of his car. Yep. Now, I don't know that Chris K is driving around much on his own. Like maybe he's in the back seat and people are driving him around. But like if it just had any bit of the organic feel to it, but it's just like it just reeks of. And again, I don't even hate it as much as some people do. One thing that I thought was really interesting is, and do you have the video up on your phone? I know you were playing that tape from like kind of something that you recorded.
I'm looking at it.
Okay, so are you looking at the opening kind of shot there? It says Chris K here. How would you describe the French fries that are awkwardly propped up to face the camera and not him?
We would say that those were cheated out, Andrew. They cheated those French fries out.
Right.
Hey, can we just cheat those fries? Hey, can we get someone to cheat those fries, please? Because it's the least natural way that you would ever have the fries if you were there to eat the fries.
But also, so it's facing us, the camera. So clearly he's not eating the fries; they're there for us. But also, it's clearly a half a thing of fries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently this is a whole thing. Like there's no indication that he's been eating those fries. And apparently people who go to McDonald's a lot have been complaining about this shrinkflation situation where you have fewer and fewer fries. Can you hit play on that video and tell me what you see happen about exactly halfway through the video, Luke? And I will spoil it for you while you watch.
I'm watching it.
It gets refilled. Somebody during one of these cuts, which you shouldn't even have cuts, it speaks again to the non-natural manner of this. How many takes did they do? And I'm still watching it. There was just a cut. It's still half empty. And then we're just getting to the point now where they're going to show it again. And suddenly it's going to be not overflowing, but it's going to be like a full thing of fries, which not only is it irritating from the bad continuity perspective, but also that somebody was like, oh no, it looks like there aren't enough fries in there. You know what I mean? And it speaks to a complaint that our kind of loyal customers have now. So there it is. Now suddenly it's like a full thing of fries.
I mean, the irony is It's like the loaves and the fishes.
Yeah.
He's eating the burger. The burger's getting larger. There's more fries than when he started with. It's like, what is happening here?
Yes, exactly. And it's better. Do you know the life lesson that I learned? I learned something about alcohol from the story of the loaves and
I'm
fishes
all ears.
long before I ever had a taste of a drink in my life. And it was, so I went to, I don't know if you guys had anything called this, but CCD was like the Sunday school I would go to after Mass, after church. And it was in a building next to the church. And some, teacher, or, probably a parent or somebody was teaching us about the loaves and the fishes. And they told all the beats that we know of that story. But they mentioned that the water that was turned into wine, that wine was even better quality wine than the wine that they had been serving at the wedding. Now, I don't know who brought this into the canon or whatever, or maybe this is just this person totally freestyling. But then they explained, and this may be the most important thing that I ever learned in CCD, they then explained that would be counter to tradition because you would always serve the best wines first, because the more you drink throughout a party, the less discerning you're going to be about the quality of drink. And I was like, I'm learning stuff here. Okay, serve the good shit first.
I mean, that's literally my theory. If Beck and I are going to have some wine and we're trying to decide, and there's a couple of different bottles, and there's one like nice one, and then there's one that's okay. Also it's interesting because I don't know which version of the Bible, the Bible as a document had a lot added to it. And then depending on who was in power or who had the printing presses or whatever, stuff was kind of getting taken out, added in, whatever. And, for a religious text, it's got a decent amount of wine talk.
Yeah.
Because that's where I learned old wine, or new wine in old wineskins.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, that was my big takeaway from, 17 years of evangelical Christian education was, if I do ever have old wineskins, but then the wine I have is new, don't put it in the old wineskins. Do not, or is it don't put old wine in new wineskins because it'll burst them or something?
I don't know.
It was something. It was, and I think a wineskin, it's made out of an animal hide or something. I think it's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a musket, kind of with the gunpowder for a musket, kind of. That's how I picture it in my mind.
Squeeze it into your mouth. That's how I picture it too. I feel like it was a Game of Thrones thing too.
Between old wine and new wineskins or whatever that was, and water into wine, a lot of booze talk.
Yeah, and I'll always
Bible.
remember, this is going to get a little bit dark, but also in the crucifixion scene, I remember it was also hammered
wine
home
on the sponge.
Well, but I thought there was something about they offered Jesus wine, but then when he drank it, it was gall. Do you remember this whole thing? And it's what's gall? And also but I guess wine was just sort of the beverage of choice, probably for freshness, and the alcohol probably.
No, I do remember that part too, about how it was bitter or not good or something. But then also, depending on the version you're watching, there's also, I think, I don't know if it's Mary Magdalene or whomever else, but they're I remember one movie version of it. I swear they're putting either wine or water on a sponge, and then it's on a stick, and they're trying to give it, put it
while
up
he's
to
carrying the cross. Yeah, I think both of our stories are right. I think maybe the gall thing is once he's up there or whatever. But anyway, would you like to talk about the Shroud of Turin, or are we probably good for the day?
Well, let me just play this really quickly.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
This is this guy. I think his name is Garen. I don't know if his name is Garen Noon, or if it's Garen and then his last name, or what I think his last name is No One. It's Noone. He's, I think, Irish. He sounds Irish to me. But this is just him reacting to the video that I thought was pretty funny.
So I've just seen a video of the McDonald's CEO eating a McDonald's, and it's probably the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, by the way, there's a lot of F-bombs in this,
Dude,
but in that kind of...
We were obsessed with some video this guy made a long time ago. When you said that name, I was like, I know it, and now I'm trying to place it.
Is he the cheese bread guy?
Maybe.
About how cheese bread and pizza are so similar, and that then there's a place... We had some bit we were playing where it was
I know
you got
that one.
pizza, you've got cheese bread, but now you can get your cheese bread with sauce on it.
Yeah, it is.
Something?
It's him. It's the garlic bread. It's basically he's
Garlic
the
bread.
one, and I can maybe start the show with that tomorrow. It's the one where he's saying like they have this whole scam going with like garlic bread, and you're putting sauce on it and cheese, and eventually you're just eating a pizza. But yes, this voice was so immediately recognizable.
The big arch.
Whoops.
This is
sorry. That's
No, I
the
needed
original
that.
guy.
That's good.
Yeah. Little reset, little reminder. Okay, here we go back.
So I've just seen a video of the McDonald's CEO eating a McDonald's, and it's probably the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
the big arch. This is something that we have tested already. Portugal, Germany, Canada.
We've tested it on the Germans and the Canadians, and now we believe it may even be fit for human consumption.
Love this product. It is so good.
I love to consume this product. Yeah, give me 2 burger product, please. This man does not eat McDonald's. He looks like he would try and read the ingredients on the back of a banana.
I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know.
He's making excuses as to why he's not going to eat the burger. I will allow the product to enter at a later date during my lunch. It's been tested on the Canadians. I'm not afraid of it.
Try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it.
The man doesn't even know how to fucking hold a burger. Why'd you let him on here without any practice? He'd be less uncomfortable if he was holding the fucking nuclear codes.
That is so good.
That will be enough of the product for me, thank you. No, seriously, I'm stuffed. I couldn't eat another slight touch of the lips. The burger is the exact same fucking shape. It's lost less weight than me since I made it my New Year's resolution, which I genuinely didn't think was possible. Anyway, that's enough of the product for both of us.
Now, what I think is so interesting about all of this, really, at this now late stage of the whole thing is, at least when I last checked, McDonald's has not pulled this down from their Instagram.
Yeah,
so when I was
smart.
reading articles about it, yeah, I mean, and this is, by the way, what Microsoft did that when that weird video that we were in, it was like they vetted it through legal for way too long, and then by the time they finally put it up, everyone started roasting it, and then they took it down, which made it more roastable. So I think it's like we are, because when I was reading about this, like I saw it bouncing around the internet, then I was reading actual news articles about how bad it went, and they all had links to like the McDonald's Instagram page, which still they did not pull it down. And I just wonder if we really have broken through to this sort of like this version of our society that's just basically like there is such a thing as bad attention if you're McDonald's. There certainly is. There's E. coli, there's, who knows what else going on. But like it's almost like in a weird way they ended up this has gone so much better than they could have even hoped, because we're talking about it.
Yeah,
the burgers.
I'm thinking about burgers. I really am. I'm thinking about
Yeah.
burgers more than I was before this.
I'm thinking about
conversation.
products.
I'm thinking about products. I might get a product for. Are you going to get a product for lunch today? This is kind of interesting, by the way. I think maybe the version that I was just watching was linked to or is like embedded in the Business Insider article about all of this, and it wasn't the McDonald's, Instagram page that was hosting it. It's actually his personal /professional Instagram page. He goes by Chris McD, which is actually pretty good. I like that.
That's kind of clever.
But when you click on his page, he's got tons of stuff where he's talking to the camera like this. So this is kind of interesting. And I'm seeing a lot of videos where he's he's sitting down at that same table with other food, or actually a similar table, I think. And so it's kind of interesting that and these are going back now, a bunch of these he's wearing the same outfit. So they probably knock a few of these out a day, but they're not all the same outfit. And it actually goes back, and it's like, this guy's doing all kinds of videos like these. And I gotta say, in ways that I don't know how to articulate right now, it sort of changes this story to me. It's not like this guy came out of nowhere and decided, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm looking at this. There's tons of him tasting things videos. I'm kind of surprised that nobody has gone through and maybe kind of picked more. Here's him, it looks like eating a chicken sandwich or something. So it's sort of something that maybe he does have more of a comfort doing, and this one just got kind of randomly swept up.
Well, and of course, it's hard to know now, because I'm sure there's been plenty of people that are going to this Instagram page or this whatever it is. It would have been interesting to see what the average number of views would be on the other videos that didn't, weren't the subject of mockery.
Yeah.
Because again, that's the world that we live in now. Like, he comes off as a little bit unconvinced around eating this McDonald's food. And then because it's kind of cringe a little bit, then everyone's talking about it, and now it's just getting all of this attention. And so it's in a way it's the most successful one of these they've ever done, probably.
Yeah, like so I'm just kind of scrolling through and I see that I can't see the date on this one. It doesn't really matter, but probably, I don't know, weeks or months ago, he did one that says McCrispy Strips taste test. And just hovering over it, I see that that's got 1,800 hearts.
Okay.
And if you look at the latest one, it has 134,000 likes and 20,500 comments. So,
and critically, Andrew, it's 4:00 p.m. in Chicago as I talk to you, and I am famished.
You need some product.
I need some product, buddy. And we've also got a meeting with our colleague, John Sklarov. So should we just go ahead and kind of, should we wrap it up for the day? Also, we're getting this posted a little bit late, which is on me.
Oh, but, that's true, too. People are probably clamoring.
Yes. Fear not, my friends. Fear not, for I am with you. Fear not, for I am with you. Fear not, for I am with you, says the Lord. I don't feel like that was the strongest ending I could have brought, but sorry.
I'm sorry I didn't help
Bible
you out
on
there.
The brain.
I was drinking some Fresca, so
I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. Child, you are mine. When you walk through the valley and through the flame, something, I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll report back tomorrow on how that song goes.
For he's a jolly good... For he... You know, I'm going to go home and look up those lyrics. But I can...
We need more Jillian Bell in the world.
In the world, you're absolutely
just
right.
An absolute comedic genius.
God, I love her.
Okay, we'll be back here tomorrow, everybody, with more Imaginary Radio. Of course, I'll be in Chicago again, here to do Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. For the rest of today, anyway, stay warm if you're near here. Stay dry if you're somewhere where it's rainy. And have a nice rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
For he's a jolly good fellow, and nobody can love it, but I can. Nobody can. I'll get this.
Okay.
But I can. I'm going to look up those lyrics.
Yep, you got it.
All right.
That was good.
Power out.